All right, so here we have a multi-step equation with x on both sides. And so what we want to do is we want to locate our x's, which is positive 4 and positive 7, and move our x just to one side of the equal sign. So I'm going to choose 4, and because the 4 is positive, I have to do the inverse operation, which is negative. So I would do negative 4x underneath that, and a negative 4x to the other side. When I combine like terms, I have the 4x take away 4x is gone. I bring down my positive 3. 7x take away 4x gives me 3x, and then I bring down a negative 9. And the equal sign stays in the same location. From that point forward, we have a two-step equation. And so my x is on one side, so I need to move the constant to the other. This constant is a negative 9, so I have to do the inverse, which is the opposite, as a plus 9 to both sides. This cancels out, and that gives you 3x, and then 3 plus 9 is 12. So the last step we do is a one-step equation, and so this means 3 times a number equals 12, which some of you can figure out that 3 times a number, which is 4, equals 12. But if you did not know exactly what that means, you would do the inverse of multiplication, and that would be division. And 3 divided by 3 is 1, which is your 1x, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So therefore, this answer for this equation is x equals 4. On this next equation here, we have the distributive property. And a distributive property means we have 3 times the quantity of x minus 4. So if we take 3 times x, we get 3x. We take 3 times that is a negative 4, we get negative 12, and it equals the 12. So this is a two-step solving equation now, and now our x is on one side and we need to move the constants together. So I put a plus 12 to both sides, and that cancels this out, and I get 3x, and 12 plus 12 is 24. So then again, we have to figure out 3 times a number gives you 24, so we have to divide by 3, which is the inverse, and 3 divided by 3 is 1, which is x. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So the answer for this equation of the distributive property is x equals 8. Lastly, we have fractions, and in order to get rid of fractions, we have to do the least common multiple. The least common multiple of 3 is 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. 6 is 6, 12, 18, and the lowest one they have in common is 6. So with that, I have to multiply the whole equation by 6 to get rid of the fraction. So 6 times 1/3 is 2, and 6 times 2/3 is 4. 6 times 1/6 is 1x, and 6 times a positive 4 is 24. So that kind of makes it nice that the fractions are no longer there, and that we just have whole numbers. Now we solve it just like the first equation, where we get x on both sides. So we subtract 1x to both sides of the equation. This is gone. 2x take away 1x is x. I bring down my plus 4, the equal sign, and the positive 24. Then I have to do the inverse of the constant, which is positive 4, and I'm going to subtract 4 to both sides. So I have x equals, because this cancels out, 24 take away 4 is 20. So this equation is x equals 20.